Good morning. Real quick, I'm going to give an update on a shooting that occurred in the 1600 block of South Fern on May 14th. Early this morning, at approximately 6:49 hours, the 50-year-old victim of the shooting in the 1600 block of South Fern was pronounced at an area hospital. After the original shooting on the 14th, the suspect was arrested and booked into the Sedgwick County Jail. He was originally charged with attempted murder charges. That case will be represented to the District Attorney's Office on Wednesday for additional charges on that. Any questions on that one?
Do we know the relationship between that man?
They were neighbors. It was a neighborhood altercation. They exchanged words, and then the shooting stemmed from the altercation.
Do we know what they were arguing about?
I do not know. I don't.
You give your age again?
The victim was a 50-year-old male, and the suspect was a 31-year-old male. Now we'll discuss the murder-suicide yesterday in the 900 block of North Glendale. Shortly before 3 o'clock yesterday, officers were dispatched to a shooting at 924 North Glendale. Upon arrival, they found a 21-year-old female deceased inside the residence. Also deceased was a 24-year-old male. The 21-year-old female was identified as Antrese, that's A-N-T-R-E-E-S-E, Bland, B-L-A-N-D. And the 24-year-old victim was identified as Aris, A-R-I-S, Brown. During the investigation, investigators learned that Mr. Brown and Miss Bland had been dating for approximately about a year. Miss Bland was 7 months pregnant also. Yesterday, sometime in the morning hours, Mr. Brown came over to the residence. We do not know what kind of argument or what happened, but around 1 o'clock, Miss Bland will go to a neighbor's house and try to contact her family by using their phone. She was unable to get a hold of family members at that time. A short time later, family attempted to contact her, were unable to make contact with her, so the family went to the residence. They got no answer at the door, so family members looked through a window and were able to see Mr. Brown inside the residence. The family forced entry into the home where they found both victims. Any questions?
Has there ever been any kind of, any problems prior between these two? Any kind of files for?
They've had numerous cases in the last few months.
So the family members looked through the window, and at that point they were already deceased?
Yes, they were.
Did she ever file a PFA or anything against Mr. Brown?
I don't know about a PFA. There's numerous reports. Mr. Brown was recently charged for a criminal threat against her in one of those reports.
So Brown shot her and then shot himself?
Yes.
Was he the father of that child?
As far as we know, yes.
Do you guys know, you said they had been dating, were they currently dating as of yesterday? Do you know if that?
They were currently dating. Ms. Bland just moved into the residence, or was just in the process of moving into that residence.
Without him?
We believe she was moving in there by herself.
How many total homicides is for you?
With this morning, it'd be 15. Any other questions? Thank you.
All right. A couple of Interwatch items to go over today. We'll talk about the aggravated battery firearm shooting at the 2600 block of North Pyatt, and then we'll talk about an aggravated assault firearms at a club in the 100 block of North Mosley last night, or early this morning. First one we'll talk about is the aggravated battery by firearms, which is a shooting. Case number is 17C-034102. 17C-034102. It occurred on the 2600 block of North Pyatt on May 21st at approximately 4:40 p.m. Yesterday, May 21st at 4:40 p.m., officers responded to the area around 2600 North Pyatt for a shooting. While officers were on scene talking to several witnesses, a 17-year-old male arrived at a local hospital with a gunshot wound to his right leg. He advised that he was shot at the Pyatt location. There were approximately 12 to 15 people at the park that left the scene prior to officers contacting them. There were also reports that someone from the park possibly returned fire at the suspect and the suspect vehicle. Witnesses described the suspect to be a black male, approximately 18 to 25 years old. He was last seen wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, black shorts, and he was armed with 2 handguns. The suspect was in a red Dodge Charger with the word Charger written on the back of it. From the exchange of gunfire, a house in the 2600 block of North Ash was struck, and a vehicle parked on Pyatt was also struck. No other injuries occurred. We are asking anyone in the area yesterday, which was Sunday, May 21st, around 4:40 p.m., who might have heard or seen anything reference to this incident, to please contact investigators, or as always, you can call Crime Stoppers, remain anonymous, and potentially receive a cash reward.
So for that 17-year-old that was hit, is he believed to be the target? Or is-
Well, since we don't have a suspect, we don't know the motive or the intended target of that individual.
Was this the one with the argument over the basketball game?
It was on a basketball court. I don't know anything about an argument over a basketball game. Okay. We'll talk about a case early this morning, the aggravated assault firearms, 17C-34182, or I'm sorry, 34183. 17C-34183. It occurred in the 100 block of North Mosley. It occurred on May 22nd at approximately 1:40 a.m. On May 22nd at 1:40 a.m., officers were called to Club Industry in the 100 block of North Mosley for a large fight. During the incident, a 23-year-old and a 24-year-old male got into their Chevrolet Suburban and began to leave the area. A 28-year-old suspect, known to the victims, shot at the vehicle, striking it multiple times. The occupants were not injured, only property damage only. The suspect fled on foot and has not been located. Investigators will continue to invest this case to learn more about what occurred, both inside and outside the club early this morning. We are asking anybody who was there and witnessed anything to contact investigations or Crime Stoppers to provide us any details of what they saw or heard.
So do we have a case number for the Glendale?
I don't have it. We can look that up and get it for you. Okay. That's all I have today, guys. Thank you.
In regards to the other shooting, in regards to the other shooting, is there anything that suggests that it's gang related or anything like that?
Which other shooting are you talking about?
Was the one in the park or the basketball game?
I have no. It is unknown at this time.
Okay. Does this? I mean, do you guys look to up community policing in these areas when this kind of thing happens? Does it kind of roll into summer?
In these areas, are you?
Neighborhoods.
What do you have a specific question or?
I mean, do you target already these areas with community policing? Do you already have officers that go through there?
Well, we have over 40 community policing officers all over the city, that are active and patrolling, and then officers that are not on 911 calls actively patrol their own areas also. So yeah, that occurs all over the city.
Is that up in the when it comes in the summer? Or
Yeah, it's all dependent on 911 calls, and like they said, that if the officers are not on 911 calls, then they're actively driving around and actively patrolling, and that's the same 365 days a year. Okay, thanks guys.